Welcome back. Seriously, I say that every time, but welcome back to the Bodhi Bros. We've been on a hiatus. I should say I've been on a hiatus. Ray's always ready. For a month, been moving, transitioning, but folks, I'm John with a J.
And I'm Phoenix Ray.
And today what happened?
I just said, no, we're back.
Oh, okay. I felt like I messed up already. I told Ray, I was like, I feel rusty. Like, how does that happen? But it's happening. So without any further ado, Ray, what are we going to do today?
So we're going to do an energy reading today. We're each going to pull a card for a general reading, and we'll let you, the viewers, decide, which one you want to go with, or you can go with both of us if you have, two different areas of your life that need some answers. So we'll pull a card for a general reading, and then what we're going to do is we're going to each pull a card for a shadow reading. So a shadow is what you don't know about yourself or a particular, look at John's shadow. Yeah.
Won't leave you alone, Ray.
Particular situation. So what you're not seeing. So we're gonna let you know what you're not seeing too.
It's right behind me, Ray.
That's right. It's right there.
I can't see yours, but mine's very blatantly, obviously there. Okay, so I've got a new deck, not nude, new deck. Boom!
Goofy Wisdom Oracle. Oh, that looks nice.
Dude, I walked into this beautiful metaphysical shop in the new town that I reside in, and there was library, and I was a little overwhelmed, and I was with my brother. I didn't know how long he wanted to hang out, so I looked at the person behind the counter, and I was like, if you were to pick one deck amidst the sea of this all, which one would it be? And they were like, Tarot, I would choose this one. Oracle, this one. And so it looked beautiful. I love the colors. It spoke to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. It's divine guidance through the hearts of great sages. And we always talk about different teachers and stuff. And so I did it. First card appealed, beautiful. Some poetry by Rumi. I mean, it was just great. So,
you know what?
Uh-oh, he's changing gears.
Now I'm thinking like maybe I need to pull my Rumi deck. Oh, I do have my Rumi deck.
Oh,
so yeah, let's keep it. I was gonna go with a little Sacred Forest, but now seeing your deck, I'm like, nah, I gotta go with Rumi.
Okay. So we're doing general reading first. So at this time,
this is the Rumi deck.
Oh, right, it's here. So pretty. And Elena Fairchild is the artist. I believe, I want to say that she was the artist for this one.
Yeah, she's done quite a few.
But it's not listed.
What do your cards look like? Okay.
Totally like her stuff, right? Like, hold on, let's see. I mean, I really feel it's like her style and stuff. Of course, none of the ones I'm pulling right now really scream her, so maybe it's not her. I don't know. Oh, like, yeah, this feels like her.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's nice. These ones look like for people watching.
Yeah. See, like that card you just pulled right there. Boom. Like very swoopy stuff. Like I feel like that's her. But it doesn't say inside here. Art by. Huh. I don't see any. Introduction. No. Anyway. I always like to give props to the artists.
So this is going to be a general reading.
Right.
The people watching, you get to pick which reading you want to go with, mine or John's, or pick us both. It's up to you.
Right. Think of a question. Don't think of a question at all. Sit back and wait for a message. It's entirely up to you. No rules. I've shaken out the old energy, bringing in the new, connecting to the heart. Here we flow. All right. I'm going to spread them out like this. So you can, they're so new. They're so all together and stuff. Unlike me and my shadow. All right, I'm getting to the heart of it. I'm going in.
I got mine.
All right, I'm pulling.
All right,
okay.
You want to read yours first?
My card is. Oh, okay. Make a change. Welcome change into your life.
Nice. And I have number 44, Merciful Mother Jamal. Mother Jamal.
Ooh. All right. Well, this is not attached to any number. But here we go. Now my readers. AKA the bright light. All right, make a change. Here's a little poem by Hafiz. If the foundation of your life falls apart, do not take it into your heart, for it will harm your spirit and steal your joy away. Be happy. There is no need to suffer over gaining or losing things, for having is bound in time and will always be taken away. Okay. Making a change is something we normally do not like because of the fear of unknown. Hafiz comes to you as an oracle to help you welcome a change in your life. He's guiding you to surrender to what is beyond your control and focus on your own internal transition to a new reality. He wants you not to allow change to weaken your heart and take your joy away. Dear one, a change in direction or a development will move you to realize a future hope or dream. Be assured this change could bring great satisfaction to you. After you have determined precisely what you're dealing with, you can develop coping strategies that are best suited to deal with the circumstances. The Oracle wants you to do what you can to generate new ideas and finish what you start. We were just talking about this. I swear to you. All right. Nothing is meant to stay the same forever. You may need to let go of some things you did not expect. In doing so, you will find that you are propelled toward a different path. Accept the change of starting on a new path, which may turn out to be more suited to you. You never know what possibilities the change might open for you. And here's a mantra, should you be interested in embracing and adopting it. I am, what? Just weird wording. I am, will remain. I think this is a typo. I will remain open to the changes happening in my life. I am determined to give myself time to accept changes as new possibilities to improve my life. Okay, so I will remain open to the changes happening in my life. I am determined to give myself time to accept changes as new possibilities to improve my life. Yeah. What do you think, Ray?
Well, hearing all that stuff about change, I mean, definitely there is most people, it's normal to have a fear of change, a fear of uncertainty. I think what it really comes down to is faith. And I think that's the neglected word that wasn't included in that. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a faith in terms of religion, but at least maybe faith in the heart, faith in yourself, it could be a faith in, a spiritual figure or God or source or whatever your face of God is, right, or your name of God. But I think, having some sort of foundation to have faith in kind of gives us that strength, kind of gives us that courage to meet that uncertainty and meet it, maybe with curiosity and loving awareness and being open and receptive to what's coming our way instead of being skeptical always, or maybe having a pessimistic mindset that can kind of blur. Also helps to do some sort of shadow work too, because when we have those traumas, a lot of times where those experiences come our way and we kind of view them through the filter, the veil of those traumas. So something could be good coming your way. Let's just say, for example, you meet somebody who's pretty cool and you say, man, that's a cool person. Maybe maybe I should ask them out. But, if you don't have that trauma, may come back and be like, yeah, but, it's just going to be another disappointment, or you're not going to be able to see reality for how it really is. You're not going to see those opportunities, and, those can kind of shade them. So that could kind of be a stumbling block or an obstacle with change. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think that change is terrifying. Change, it can be exciting, but really we're creatures of comfort, right? We get in our routines, we like the places that we go to, we buy the certain things here, we talk to the certain people there, and it's comforting to know what to expect, right? For the most part, there's going to be a different person show up at that place, and sometimes they're going to be out of your favorite fill in the blank. But all in all, like I think we strive to create grooves of familiarity and routine because that just screams safety.
Yeah.
So when we're presented with options of change, I feel a lot of us recoil and get ready to like Cobra strike. Like, no, no, Cobra strike. No, no, that's not part of the plan of the routine. But if we take a moment to breathe into it and consider it, you don't have to do it, but just consider it and allow it like one of those feelings that are very, very, very uncomfortable that we deny, disown, suppress, whatever. But spending, and Ray and I talked about this a moment before the podcast began, was how quickly you'll realize by just giving it room to breathe and considering it, as Ray said, bringing loving awareness to it, a mood can shift because it just wants attention like a little child. They just want to be seen, heard, and know that it's okay to express these things. Same things with ideas or change, like a new business perhaps, or a new job, or a new relationship. Just be open to consider it and then see where that takes you. It doesn't mean like, all right, this is a new person, I have to jump in and propose marriage, or there's a new job, I have to quit my old job and and embrace the uncomfortable change. No, it just simply means open the door to possibility and really feel into it, right? And some of those options are going to remain scary and uncomfortable for a while because I think we are creatures of habit and comfort and stuff. And so, I mean, think about some of the relationships that you left that were abusive and or otherwise, and it was really, really tough to leave those relationships. And and you felt like maybe at times it was impossible to get out of a certain situation. But when you did, maybe even it was years later, but you look back and you're like, man, I can't believe I was there. And now I'm here. And like, I don't even recognize that person back then, or those, how I was an allowance of those happenings and stuff. And it's, it was a really scary leap that you took, but be reminded gently of the fact that when we do that and and we leap toward possible betterment or loving ourselves in a whole new way, typically, mostly, eventually, we're cradled by a new and more expansive experience that will serve not only us but others um, well and into the future.
Yeah. Very good.
What's your card, sucker?
All right. So this is Mother Jamal. This oracle brings you a message. There is a shift taking place now in a matter of great importance to you. From Jalal to Jamal, from justice to mercy. This is your path, your destiny, and your blessing, now opening up before you. It may be a particular matter, however, it likely includes your entire life orientation. You are being granted refuge, respite, and shelter from the storms of struggle and doubt, and being given a divine sanctuary of life, of safe harbor. You shall find that the unraveling of the struggle and pain now happens through tenderness, a gentler approach. Okay, I'm gonna skip over here. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you, but it is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive.
Ray, it's okay to ask for help. Okay to ask for help. I'm glad that that reminder was brought to the podcast today. And it doesn't have to be a physical person that you're asking for help. It can just be an exaltation to the universe, like help me. Like some people call that prayer. But putting all of your heart and your feeling behind it and asking for guidance, asking for a sign, asking for financial assistance, ask, and I think the cliche or the phrase is "you shall receive." It's kind of true. I think if we really examine our lives and we, did we get that specific thing we had? Did we get that toy as a kid? And they're like, no, man, I never got that G.I. Joe tank Tonka truck thing. I never got it. So ask for what you receive is bullshit. I think there's more to it than that. I want $1 million. Well, are you a energetic match for that? Do you believe that you can have that? Maybe, like in my case, I didn't get certain toys because, traumatically, I was programmed to feel like I didn't deserve those toys. And I wasn't worthy of those toys or whatever the case may be. So I never was able to bring that into my experience. But we're grown ass adults now, man. So ask for help.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's resistance to asking for help. We think that we have to take it all on ourselves, and that could be a form of trauma too. Thinking that you don't have support, that you can't rely on other people. I have to, the phrase, I gotta get it. If you want to get it done, you gotta do it yourself type of mentality. And there's maybe a time and place where sometimes you have to, but I mean, overall though, it's, it sounds to me like this card is kind of geared towards the person who's kind of struggling, who maybe needs to acknowledge that they need to take a break, that they need some sort of safety and some refuge. And, maybe you don't have to struggle as hard as you think you do to make it. We get thinking that we have to grind and hustle and everything. And this is saying, no, you don't necessarily have to do that. It's, it's ask,
Right.
the help is there. And, maybe learn to trust the universe, So maybe that's something that you have to work on, is maybe having trust. And maybe there was some sort of disappointment in the past where, it didn't work out that way and you feel you can't ask. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's right on the money there, dude. And just like, like Ray said, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter and more lovingly and openly. Like it doesn't have to happen one way through one person or one group of people. It is bizarre the way things can unfold for you if you abandon the how, right? And
Right.
just start asking different places, different people, like open different browsers or search different Google words, but just, and again, this isn't working harder. This is just branching out and creating options. I asked for help today, and the answer was yes, very, very quickly. And typically in this particular outreach, I'm not always met with an answer right away. And actually, as I sent it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a long shot, but like, I could really use this person's help. It was a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, and it has to do with starting a new company and a new business or whatever. But for me, that's a huge burden off of my shoulders, because if I were to do this thing that I asked this person to help me with, we're talking major time and energy investment. Could I do it? Yeah, I guess, but not as well. Not not in the time frame that this person could do it. And so that's really a huge weight off of me, that now I could focus on something else.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because it's something that I really needed to move forward. And now I've got the winds of assistance ushering me forward. So even if you're not ready to take inspired action and thrust forward and create and reach out and stuff, I think, Ray was saying too, like maybe you're burnt out, you need that refuge, that time to, and I think you can make shit happen in meditation.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Because you're in that relaxed state. That sometimes that's when you let that create.
We lost Ray. No, this is important. This is important. Give us a second. We're gonna let the internet rewind, regroup, because this is huge, folks. You don't want to miss this. Ray's about to hit poetry. We got Ray. You back yet? Follow the links down below. All right, Ray's back. What you got?
Yeah, when you quiet your mind, that's usually when the most creative ideas come to you, is when you're quiet, when you can kind of settle down and let those ideas flow to you, being in that harmony. So
Very good.
Let's do Shadow.
Let's do shadow.
What card are you using?
Same.
Same. I'm gonna be going with the blind spot. Teal Swan's deck, blind spot. Very, very great deck. This will call you out on your BS like no other deck will.
Gonna pull the shapeshifter card again, Ray. I'm looking at you, Shadow. I see you, Shadow.
So this is what you don't know about yourself or a situation.
All right. All right, folks, connect to your hearts. This is what you don't know. So you can ask a question as it pertains to a particular relationship or aspect of your life if you'd like, and then apply what you don't know, as Ray has already shared. All right. I got mine. It's stuck. It's in the middle of the deck. All right. Ooh. Wow. So many of us do not do this. And I think it's not just that, it's a lifelong challenge too, because you can get better and better and better at it. But live in the moment.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
That's a beautiful card.
And it says what you are looking for is with you.
Mine is number 38, the sigil right here. This is
I've
for
never seen that one.
reactivity. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before.
I've never even seen that sigil.
Yeah, so this is reactivity. Nice.
You want to go first?
Sure. All right, reactivity. Okay, it's not that long anyway, so.
Wow, usually that one like 3 or 4 pages.
If you have drawn this sigil, you are currently emotionally reacting instead of responding, and you are not currently seeing why you are reacting the way that you are reacting. As people, we only react when we feel deeply threatened. The reality is that you feel unsafe and at the risk in this scenario in some way. When we feel threatened, our survival mechanisms take over our capacity to objectively view the situation at hand or understand. They make us act immediately. We react in order to avoid, postpone, or nullify the threat of loss. Like a gunshot shooting off a bullet, we act so quickly that we make serious mistakes which we can't take back and may spend a long time paying for. If you've drawn the sigil in this scenario, the threat is not as imminent or as big as you think it is. It may not even be there at all, but the idea of that threat is causing you to think, say, and do things that are making the problem much bigger than it was to begin with. And the more reactive you get, the more potential for a solution will vanish. See, by slowing things down and refusing to act until the stirred up emotional mud has settled, you are giving yourself a chance to come out of fight or flight mode and see the situation from objective standpoint. You can then respond according to that more objective understanding that you have. A reaction is instantaneous and is therefore driven by the subconscious mind. This means it is driven by past trauma, beliefs, biases, prejudices, and primitive body functions. Because it is a function of the subconscious, you do it without thinking. The response is driven by the conscious mind. It happens when we make a decision after evaluating long-term effects, the impact on others, as well as our deepest values and personal truth. Because it involves conscious choice, it is a byproduct of free will. If you have drawn this sigil, you are being asked to respond, not react. If you have drawn this sigil, it will benefit you. I was just saying to check out another reading, which we're not going to. But
Which one does it say to check out? I'm just curious.
Number 30.
Can you tell us what it is? We don't have to read it. I just want to know what word it's saying to.
Short-term thinking.
Okay.
Pretty
So
pretty there.
I love this card. Something happened to me today where it would have really, really served me well to have heard this at the beginning of my day versus the end of my day. But as we just touched upon earlier, it's okay to ask for help. Folks, it is okay to slow down in any moment, ask questions, and listen. Maybe as children that wasn't okay, but we're, like I said earlier, grown ass adults. Let's change the paradigm. It is okay to slow down, listen, and ask questions before you react, because that fight or flight moment when we're being attacked or whatever, it's pivotal. This happened to me today over the phone. And I reacted. I didn't step back and not take it personal and breathe and ask questions and empathize and connect and attune and offer unconditional presence. I did none of those things. I failed miserably. And that, I think, comes from childhood traumatic programming, where your parents say something to you like, tell me now, answer me when I'm talking to you. And there's that pressure, there's that attack. And when they're attacked, they want you to say something now. Like, listen to me when I'm talking to you. It's all those things, and like they're really harsh, and those injure us, and our children that are in us that we haven't attended to are still hurt. So we need, when we have situations like today that arose for me and that may have risen up for you, whether it's today, tomorrow, yesterday, the next day, just know from our hearts to yours, it's okay to slow down. Take a step back, and people will press you too. They're like, oh, what, you don't have anything to say? And you can just simply reply, it's not that I have something to say, I just really want to understand what's happening here. There's ways that you can not diffuse a situation, because you're not trying to extinguish what that person feels. You're just trying to get them to understand that you're trying to understand what they feel, and you just need some time because maybe you feel attacked. And if you feel that's the case and you want to even share that, you can be like, right now I just feel like you're coming at me a little strong, and that's okay because you seem upset, but I just want to understand what that's stemming from and how I can support you, or figure out what I can do differently. And it's a different conversation than it is like, oh, screw me, screw you, or blah blah blah. And we want to like push back, whereas what we really need to do is, they say bring your enemies closer, and we need to pull that person in and embrace them almost in like an emotional hug, and be like, hey, yeah, you're angry. What is it specifically you're angry about?
Mhm.
What do you think, Ray?
Well, I think there's so much things that can trigger us now more than ever with all this stuff going on. I mean, there's triggers everywhere. TV, media, anywhere you go, people talking about politics and just state of the world, and everyone's a lot of biases. A lot of people are very attached to their perspectives, which may be different than yours. And so there are a lot of people getting triggered now these days, so if you get triggered, it's so easy. Like you said, we have that trauma. We have to go there, fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes we don't want to say what's on our mind because we're afraid. We get triggered that way, or we get triggered like someone says something you disagree with, and you're like, you get mad, and you just want to tear into that person. But that person could be like a good friend or a family member or somebody you care about, and it's like it's. So I really think having, obviously, shadow work, working on addressing your triggers, your emotional triggers, and seeing, getting down to the root of that, as well as I really think is just having a meditation practice. Because when we meditate, it gives us that we cultivate that mindfulness. So when somebody says something that triggers us, it kind of gives you a little bit of space for that awareness to come in there, where we could witness our feelings, witness our thoughts, instead of being identified with our thoughts and those feelings, because those things possess us. They possess us, and we're like, what'd you say about that? And you want to like, "Bruh," and it's like, so it's like that feeling will come up, allow that feeling come up, recognize it, accept it. But you can be like, okay, I feel anger, anger in here, sadness, fear, maybe name it. And then, maybe you could send love to that energy, like, okay, maybe maybe it involves taking a breath and being like, okay, I want to be able to respond from a deeper place, from a loving place, from the heart, rather than this anger or whatever this person is doing that like pisses me off right now. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, mine was live in the moment. What you are looking for is with you.
All right.
All right. I need my cheater. All right, live in the moment. What you are looking for is with you. Be drunk, for you know not whence you came nor why. Stay drunk, for you know not why you go nor where.
Fitting reading for
Omar,
St. Patty's Day.
what's that?
Fitting reading for St. Patty's Day.
Oh my God. This is one of the days of the year I do not go out. I stay in the house and lock the doors. I try not to drive on this day. Folks, Uber, be responsible. Oh shit, by the time you see this, it won't be St. Patty's Day anymore.
So
In
good.
in general, make good decisions. Don't drink and drive ever. Please and thank you. All right, this is Omar Khayyam. Not familiar. Khayyam. Never heard of Omar. All right. A soft voice is reminding you that what you are looking for is already within you. It wants you to open your hand and see what you already hold in it. There is no need to wait to see what will happen. All you have ever longed for is here in this moment, right now. Let go of your clever schemes and be the beauty you are. Let joy change you into an expanding universe. Surrender into the marvelous aliveness you feel and let the sun anoint you with its light. Omar Khayyam likens the state of being lost in love to being drunk with feeling beyond time and place. He reminds you to benefit from your own life-giving creative power rather than focusing on past concerns. Living in the moment means utilizing all your senses and staying in the experience of how it feels. By concentrating your attention on the present, you are better able to live each moment as it happens. You will have the opportunity to recharge, renew, and to learn to use your energy to enjoy whatever it is you are doing in each moment. Dear one, when you are more positive and optimistic in the present, you live and experience your life rather than thinking about it. You will be open to the possibility of a much more positive and promising future. Your relationships will be more satisfying, for these changes can heighten your self-esteem and make you more open to the truth. The message is to live your life to the fullest, to make every moment count, and to do it now. Be more spontaneous. Here's the mantra should you decide to allow and embrace it. I will not let yesterday crowd out today, and I will not let fear of tomorrow dominate my actions and thoughts. I am determined to live more consciously and fully experience each moment as it comes.
Wow. Well, looking at it from a shadow perspective, this looks like that you're maybe bypassing the present moment in some way. You're not seeing, maybe you're approaching the present moment from a place of feeling unfulfilled and incomplete. So the reason why we bypass a lot of the times the present moment is something happened in the past, maybe some sort of pain, some sort of disappointment. And so what happens is we carry the stuff from the past, these other things that happen, and we carry this with us, which it's a double-edged sword. You know, we want to take the wisdom we had from our experiences, but we don't want, but we want to let those go and not like anticipate that. Yeah, we went to say a relation. Let's just use a relationship. Yeah, that relationship didn't work out. It doesn't mean that the new relationship is not going to. But sometimes we carry that into this past with us, and that past gives us anxiety in coming into the future because we're anticipating that these same scenarios are gonna like happen again. Like, oh, you know, I've been down this road before, blah 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 blah, and maybe we kind of try to come up with some sort of strategy to prevent that, but that strategy is maybe unwise. You know, maybe we become more paranoid with people, or pessimistic or cynical with people because we're accustomed to that something that in the past is happening. So we're bypassing our present experiences because we're trying to protect ourselves from having something come back and reoccur again in the past. So I think really what it is just, you know, maybe do some sort of inner work and, you know, gain those wisdoms and maybe work on healing that past stuff and just try to be more open and more mindful of things coming in. You know, it kind of goes back to that change card that you pulled, you know, that, you know, resisting the change. You want to resist that change because you have that comfort zone and you're, you know, maybe we're afraid to step out in that new territory because, you know, maybe we fell on our face one time before, and, you know, but that's how we learn. You know, you're going to make mistakes, and if you learn from them, they're not really mistakes. You know, it's just making you stronger.
Well said. Good stuff, Phoenix Ray. I don't have much to add to that because I feel like the reading and your interpretation covered most of what I'm feeling. The one addition I might offer is just to consider when you're doing shadow work and you're diving into all these things of the past and taking triggers and going, all right, I'm going to do a process now, or I'm going to spend the time dissecting this, or like feeling this for the next 3 hours. There's a time and a place, obviously. There's also, just like anything on this planet, the caution that comes with doing something too much, you know, like all things in moderation, right? You know, because we can become addicted to anything. And I think if you're allowing yourself to be open to the present moment, if you're constantly doing shadow work, you're missing everything in them that's surrounding you, that's coming at you, right?
Mhm.
And so it's okay to do the work. Obviously, you want to spend some time when something comes up and give it loving awareness and attention, sure. But not at the expense of thinking that you don't deserve all that. There's a spectrum
Mhm.
of human experiences and emotions. Just because we feel like we're so traumatized, we have so much work to do, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. We're here for a lifetime of work and ever evolving, layers being pulled back and expanding into different levels of consciousness. Yes, great. Whoopity doo. All right, let's sign me up. However, find that spot, that sweet spot where it's okay to feel joy. It's okay to feel excitement and bliss and love and and it's okay to feel depression and sadness and anger. It's the whole thing. So don't you know, some people say, you know, like when we bypass, we jump right to this, right? We jump to the bliss and we jump to the things that bring me happiness and stuff. You can bypass in the other direction. Did you know that? You can actually bypass all the good stuff because you feel like, oh, this is where I'm going to make progress. This is where, and that just at this point, that doesn't really feel like a human experience. It feels like, I don't know. It feels like,
I think you have to have a balance between light work and shadow work. And I think sometimes we can kind of get off balance in one way. You know, you get these people who just are all love and light, who don't address any triggers and try to bypass that. And then you get these people who it seems like the pendulum always swings too far one way. You know, and then you get these people who are these shadow work, you know, groups, and they're like, no, I hate love and light, blah 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 blah. You're not addressing your doubts and your depression. It's like, and they get so angry at love and light. And it's like, okay, and that's fine. You everyone has to do both. You have to address your triggers, but all of it is to live in the love and the light. All this is supposed to make, what's the goal? What's the point of this if it's not going to make you happy in the long run, right?
Right. Right.
You're not like, it's like, I don't know. It'd be like being like starving yourself and being on a diet and working out at the same time. You're not like, you're like, no, I don't want to lose any weight or make any muscle gains. Well, then why are you torturing yourself if you're not gonna like, if
Right.
nothing's gonna come out of this? So you have to have that balance. And sometimes you may be in a period of your life where kind of cycles where you're more love and light and you're riding that wave. And then, what happens is something will trigger you and you're like, oh, something you didn't expect. I guess I got work to do. Okay. And you don't have to like you're saying about like going for a goal or something like that. It doesn't mean you have to be a finished product and to enjoy happiness or get something. You don't have to be, I can't, I know somebody like that too. He's like, oh, I can't go into a relationship till I like address all these needs and my anger and all blah 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 blah. This list of all stuff. It's like, yeah, but you don't have to be a finished product in order to enjoy life. You can still go into that relationship knowing you have some issues and stuff and you're working on it, as long as you're aware of it and you're addressing it. Enjoy life. Ask for help.
And let's all encourage each other and remind each other that none of us are ever going to be finished products until you're in the grave or in the crematorium or wherever your ashes at sea, whatever you're doing. Like, you're a constantly evolving, expanding, constantly evolving, expanding. Use the ing, John. Human being. And the love and light, like Ray said, is what, it's just semantics, right? But it's the whole spectrum of human, like that's love. And love and light is all of us being an allowance and understanding of ourselves and each other, that they're all okay. There's not good emotions and bad emotions. They're just emotions. I'm creating a rainbow here for you folks. Okay. Like if you can't see me right now, I'm making the rainbow of emotions.
My third eye.
Right. And none of them are wrong. None of them are bad. They all are important in our journey to discovering ourselves and learning and loving more about one another. Like, we have to rewrite the script of suck up your tears and be a man and all these programs that most of us grew up with and stuff. And we're told it's not okay, or and that means the scary ones too, the ones that are really hard to sit with yourself and with other people. Challenge yourself to, as scary as, and if you need help, ask for help. If someone brings you something that's too heavy for you or too frightening, breathe into it. As we said earlier, it's okay to slow down, especially if someone brings you something heavy, or if you yourself have introduced something to yourself that's heavy, and just be like, okay. And watch how magically transformative that feeling can be. Ray can't hear me. But watch how magically transformative your experience will be if you just give a few seconds of attention to something that's very, very, very typically different and out of the norm that you would allow, and see the ease that's injected into you just by trying something a little different. And that's putting the light on, and there's the love and light, putting the light on this dark, heavy thing. Right. And watch it not scurry away, but watch it nod in gratitude, saying, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for feeling me.
Supposed to acknowledge and listen to.
Yeah. But what do I know, Ray? I don't know shit about shit.
I know nothing about nothing.
That's right. Tomato, potato, whatever. Folks, it's been nice to get back on the bike and ride this thing. And Ray, always a pleasure, always a treasure, always. Man, it was a tough ride to get here. I've moved, folks. I'm no longer in Orlando. I'm in South Florida. A new chapter. So pardons for the extended absence of our show. Ray's been very patient and flexible, understanding that just wasn't in the the head or heart space to bring myself to the microphone. But here we are, we're back again. And I asked for help. I was like, Ray, I need help. I need you to understand that I'm not ready. And he's like, sure, tell me when you're ready. It was that easy. I just asked for help. I was like, I can't. He's like, all right. And I thought I might disappoint him too. I'd be like, he probably really wants to do this. Probably what a slacker. Or, come on, man. And he was just I wasn't surprised because it's Ray. And he was like, but you know that me, even though I know Ray well, I brought that to the table. We talked about this earlier. Like, you know, I brought my parents to the table. Like, it's not going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. He's going to be disappointed. And it was just the opposite. I was met with love, compassion, and total flexibility and understanding. Thank you, Ray, for the gift.
Namaste.
Folks,
All right.
check out the links below. Keep engaging with us. We're getting ready for the next wave of Bodhi Bros. The world's opening back up again. So maybe it's time to do these retreats. Maybe it's time to start shaking some shit up.
That's right.
Let us know what you want, where you want to go, what do you want to do. Give us some ideas. We have plenty, but we're open to more. I'm John with a J.
Phoenix Ray.
We'll see you next time, folks.